Going on a walk I haven't been on before. It's only a shortish walk. I'm going to try and find a burial chamber up there, somewhere on the slopes of Morfa Bychan. I parked here, but I can't see any parking, no parking sign, so I won't go up. I'll come back on that footpath, but I'll walk up the road for a couple of 100 yards and then turn left. Okay, I'm turning up this road and going up here, and I've never been up here before. Okay, I'm on quite a good gravel track here. I think this place, Morfa Bychan, near Porthmadog. It's but that's the feature of this walk. The view of Morfa Bychan, the Porthmadog mountain. Okay, of course I'm coming out today on a walk because the weather is so great. It's you can't stay indoors on a day like today. Now this walk, it's going to be a route finding exercise, and I'll see how it goes. So far so good, and I can see some walkers up ahead of me. There's the caravan park down there. It's not really too encouraging. No footpath signs, so I'll just see what happens. This would be a pleasant walk if I knew where I was going, and I'm hoping that yeah, so I got that's always something I don't really care for too much, is cattle in the fields, but I think they're more interested in taking shade. Farmhouse down there, so this is the path I should have taken slightly further on, just a few yards further on. And actually there's no actual path to this burial chamber, but so I'm hoping there is some kind of access to it. But that's the feature, as I say, of this walk. You've got that it's less than 1,000 feet high, but of course there's sea level there, so you've got the full nearly 1,000 foot of ascent to get to the top. So it appears to be a mountain from this this viewpoint. I'm following this animal track, and so far so good, but it's not following any. I'm off the beaten track as far as footpaths are concerned, but I'm just going to. It's nice countryside here, though. I mean, that's let's say here again, another picture of Morfa Bychan. There it is. I almost missed it. Right there. Now I've got the problem of trying to get to it, and I'll just follow this stone wall, and hopefully there's a opening somewhere. Down a couple of 100 yards, going downhill, and so far no opening. This stone wall, look, is carrying on going, and you can see this new fence. The farmer doesn't want people climbing over, and well, I don't know where to carry on going because I'm going away from the direction I want to go, and I'm back to where I first spotted the chamber, and I'll try this direction and see if there's an opening this side. Just a few feet further, if I'd have carried on, I could have I clambered over that broken section of the wall. It may have been broken by that tree, but I have an idea it might have been broken by guys like me climbing over the wall in the past. I can't spot them, or on the right up this burial chamber, it's something about cup marks on some nearby rocks. Prehistoric cup marks. I do the usual circle. There's no capstone on this this particular feature. Neolithic, of course, like all of the burial chambers, have been there thousands of years. It is impressive. That's about 9 feet high, that main upright. But I am trespassing here. There's a gap in this wall, which probably walkers in the past have broken. There's that burial chamber down there. And so I've been trespassing basically up to this point. But now, luckily, I'm back on a public footpath with the reassuring footpath sign there. Okay, I should be on footpaths now for the rest of the walk. Footpaths and lanes. It's a nice oak tree. I'm off the beaten track here because there's large caravan sites less than a mile away. But of course no one comes up here to the countryside. They come up here for the beach, of course. Yes, that Porthmadog mountain, less than 1,000 feet, but from this vantage point, because of the perspective, it looks like a colossal mountain. Okay, I'm slightly off the footpath again, but I wanted to inspect these Blenheim Palace type ornaments. I hope no one spots me because I think I'm again trespassing. There it is. And that behind us is an ash tree. They're just starting to come out and leave. I'll see if there's a gate here that gives access to the footpath. There's that drive that leads to that house. And I'm back on the authorised footpath again. And so far so good. No one's come out and shouted at me for trespassing. Now, unfortunately, lack of footpath signs. I automatically took that as the right of way, but the right of way goes along this gravel track. Hopefully that will be the last time I miss the footpath. But other than that, it's excellent walking. Okay, there's another farmhouse with the washing hanging out in the sunshine. But somewhere just here, there's a footpath that's marked to go around the back of that house, and connects up with a lane. That's according to the map. I couldn't see a trodden footpath, so I quietly went around the side of the house. But it is marked as a public right-of-way on the map, but of course they could be out of date. Okay, I missed the way again. That lane is quite close, but this track just meanders around all over the place, and it's not the path I intended to take. Okay, I was trespassing again, but luckily no one. If they did see me, they didn't take much notice. And here I finally got to the private lane, not the private lane, the public lane. And which leads back to the car, eventually. If you want hideaway cottages, they're here. There's a hideaway cottage there, buried behind the That's a shrubbery. Okay, here's a good parking spot. But I don't recommend the walk I've done. It's not, well, it's one of those things that the paths generally, in many cases, no longer exist. There's a footpath sign that probably no one knows about. Morfa Bychan. Goes up through there. There's no sign of it further up though. I think this is a private house, but it is marked as a chapel on the size of this ash tree. But I won't go up any further. I've been lucky so far. Haven't been shouted at. Kind of attractive looking holiday cottages. The most, means big house. Just about the most common name for a house in Wales. Alright, so continue on this lane for well, about another half a mile maybe, then turn off on the final footpath leading back to the car. Now I have walked along this lane once before, and I remember passing this little church. I think it's still in use. St Michael's Church, Trevlis. Yeah, that's the cemetery. And here's a handy place for a parking. Of course, there's always a chance they could lock the gates. But where's the entrance to the church? This looks like the entrance. There's an obelisk. I can't quite read what it says, but it was probably put up in Victorian times. And it's a good spot here. There's a good all-round view. I can't go inside the church because, as is usual these days, it's locked, these isolated churches. There's the church. And almost, it's difficult to spot this, but I think this is the public footpath here. Two more obelisks. Let's see, there it is, the footpath. Yeah. That's nice to know. I can hear a cuckoo over there. But there's actual footpath signs here. So, yeah. There's another nice house. With a distant view of the scene. And there's the caravan sites down there. I don't think I can go too far wrong now. There's a nice little fishing lake down there. I'll just stay on this track now. Only about a third of a mile from the car. Your footpath signs now, and you can just about see the chapel on the top of the hill there. Okay, so that's the end of this walk. Probably just a couple of 100 yards, if that, from the car.